everyone, welcome to Coffee and Chat. I'm Jenny. So if this is your first time here, you might want to check out the introductory message, just to get some background and to understand the intent of Coffee and Chat. However, if you are a friend returning for a visit, well, hello, welcome back. So get your mug, get your coffee, get comfy, and let's chat. So today's topic is New Year, New You. And I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you all had a great holiday with your friends, family, loved ones, and hope you're all set and ready to go into 2024. Wow, 2024, I can't believe it. How time flies. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions, mostly because it's something that I didn't pay much attention to when I was younger. And I think it's a really good idea. Now that I'm at this age and I'm looking back, there are sort of things that I wish that I had done, as I mentioned in the introduction. And you know that old saying, if I knew then what I knew now, things might have been different. Anyhow, New Year's resolutions. How many of you have made New Year's resolutions? You know what? That's something that's hard to do. And you know why? Because most people, they don't stick to it. It's hard to stay on track. You start out with some great intentions at the beginning of the year, and then by the end of January, end of February, most people fall off the track. As a matter of fact, I think a statistic came out that said only about 9% of people who start New Year's resolutions actually end up completing it or stick with it till the end of the year. It's not a very high number. But, part of the reason it's difficult to stay on track is because you just lose focus. So here are a couple of quotes that my elder sister taught me that sort of helps, and it works for any day of the year actually, but they kind of help you to focus on the future and to sort of get you back into the mindset about your goals, like once you've set the goals. So here we go. The first one is, today's the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, so make it count. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this one's a little bit longer, but this one I find is really good. If you really stop and listen to it, it's really good. Like it gets you back into focus. Where you are today is a result of what you did yesterday. Where you will be tomorrow is a result of what you do today. So if you don't like where you are today, and you don't want to be the same place tomorrow, change what you do today. I'm going to say that again. This is a good one. Where you are today is a result of what you did yesterday. Where you will be tomorrow is a result of what you do today. If you don't like where you are today, and you don't want to be the same place tomorrow, then change what you do today. So this one's really good because it really just brings you back to the present and gets you to think about what it is you want for the future. And it gets you just into that mindset to stick to your goals. And another one, which is probably old, but I'll say it anyways. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So really, these things are just little mantras or little quotes, little things to keep in the back of your mind. You can write them down somewhere and put them on your mirror or something, just to remind you that what you're doing today is going to affect where you're going to end up tomorrow, right? Or in the future. So you can take control of that. And I think, as I said, these are quotes that I learned from my older sister very early on. And as usual, as a young person, I listened to it sometimes, and most of the times I didn't pay much attention to it, but they really make a lot of sense. Okay, so I just wanted to share those with you. So back to resolutions. Now, there are the typical resolutions, and depending on where you are in life, there are things that are going to be probably more of a priority for you. For example, people like to make the resolution at the beginning of the year, I'm going to get more fit. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to make more money. Want to buy a car, that kind of stuff. So those are great. And like I said, it's always good to make a resolution or make some resolutions and set some goals for yourself. And another thing that I wanted to mention that I learned kind of later on was if you want your goals to be more successful, or if you want to be more successful at achieving your goals, you need to apply what's called the SMART principle. Okay, so SMART is an acronym for a bunch of different characteristics that your goals should have. So when you set a goal or resolution, you look at the acronym and try to make it so that all of the characteristics apply to your goals. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what it is. It's SMART. S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for attainable, R is for realistic, and T is for timely. I'm going to go through my book. I have a book here. It's actually my personal training manual, and they talk about helping clients to achieve their goals by applying the SMART principle to each goal. So I'm going to go over each one, and then I'm going to give an example of how you would incorporate that, right? So say I said I want to lose weight, or I want to look better for 2024. If we take that goal, that kind of loose goal, and apply the SMART principle to it, here's what it would look like. I want to look better. Is it specific? No. So according to the definition here, specific, it says a specific goal is one that is clearly defined in such a way that anyone could understand what the intended outcome is. Goals should contain a detailed description of what is to be accomplished, when a client wants to accomplish it, and by, and the actions that will be taken to accomplish it. So it's basically the what, when, and how. To make my goal of I want to look better, to make it more specific, I would say, okay, I want to lose weight, and we take it down some more. I want to lose 20 pounds, and I want to lose 20 pounds in, let's say, 4 months. Okay? So it says that goals should contain a detailed description of what is to be accomplished, when you want to accomplish it by, and the actions that will be taken. So this is where I would also make a plan. Like, what am I going to do to lose the 20 pounds in the 4 months? I'm going to cut my calories by X amount of calories per day, and I'm going to exercise. So these are things that will take us to the next characteristic of the SMART principle, which is measurable. So I'm going to go with the definition here. Under measurable, it says goals need to be quantifiable. Establish a way to assess the progress towards each goal. If a goal cannot be measured, a client cannot manage it. Okay? Is my goal measurable? Yes, I can make it measurable. I want to lose 20 pounds over a period of 4 months. So that's going to be 5 pounds a month. So each week I'm going to have to lose about a pound, 1.1 pounds. Okay? And I could do that because, you do the calculations of how many calories in a pound, whatnot. And then what I do is every week I can step on the scale and I can track my progress, right? So once it's measurable, it can be tracked, and that helps you to stay on track towards your end goal. Is it attainable? The definition, it says, attainable goals are the right mix of goals that are challenging but not extreme. I want to lose 1.1 pounds per week. Is that attainable? Yes. Is it challenging? A little bit, yes, it can be. Okay, so that's the attainable part. On to the next characteristic. Is it realistic? According to the definition here, it says to be realistic, a goal must represent an objective toward which an individual is both willing and able to work. A goal is probably realistic if the individual truly believes that it can be accomplished. Do I think I can accomplish 20 pounds in 4 months? Yes. And one way to sort of track that is, have you done it before? And yes, I have. So it is realistic. I'm not saying I want to lose 100 pounds in 2 months. That's not realistic. Not in a healthy way anyway. And finally is the T in SMART, is it stands for timely. Do I have a time attached to this goal? Yes, it's over a period of 4 months, and I've also broken it down into weekly periods so that I could check my progress. Okay? Research has shown that when you have a goal, if you want to be more successful, you apply the SMART principles, apply the SMART principles, and if you have to finagle it a little bit, then do so that it fits in with what the SMART principle tells you to do. And then that will increase your chances of success. All right. So that is one thing that I learned about these types of goals, which are typical. But something else that I learned that unfortunately I didn't start practicing until I would say I didn't start incorporating it into my life until later on. There are some things that I did start early on, like again, my older sister, she taught me these things, and she's funny. She's like the Yoda of the family. She's full of wisdom. And she's taught me a lot of stuff, but some of the things, like I said, I listened to. Some of the things I didn't really listen to until later on in life, when it was, when I look back and thought about some of the things that she had told me. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I'm sharing with you things that she taught me, and also some things that I learned along the way. Now, as I said, those other goals that I mentioned, like weight loss, getting fit, making more money, buying a car, those are great. But these principles that I'm going to talk about, these are more deeper, life-changing principles that I've learned over the years. And what I've learned is that the sooner you can incorporate them into your life, the better your life will be, and the more productive and successful I think you will be. Okay, so number one, get some hope. I created with my daughter, we created an acronym for hope, and it's have optimistic plans every day. Have optimistic plans every day. That's our acronym for hope. So how do you do that? How do you find hope? How do you create hope if you don't have any? Well, first and foremost, me personally, as I said, I am I believe in God. I have a faith, and that has been immensely helpful in developing a sense of hope. Because in my faith, the Bible is full of hope. It's full of promises, it's full of blessings that are contrary to all the negativity that we're seeing happening in the world today. So that's for me, that was a big thing. Like what's going on right now in the world, it's crazy. If you are paying attention to the TV and news and social media, it doesn't seem like there's much hope, right? So you kind of have to tune out a little bit. I'm not saying live in denial, but you kind of have to turn your focus away from that a little bit in order to change your mindset. Because when you get immersed in all of that stuff that's going on, it's really hard to be optimistic about the future. So how do you get some hope? Number one, change your thoughts. Change and control your thoughts. Think about what you're thinking about, okay? A lot of the times when we're surrounded by negativity, tragedies, atrocities, just depressing events, that's what's going to stick in our minds, right? That's what we're going to be focusing on. But if you can learn how to change your thoughts, learn how to focus on the positives in life, that will make a huge difference moving forward, okay? The Bible, I just wanted to say, the Bible, okay, Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And really and truly, when you're thinking about things, your thinking affects your feelings, right? And your feelings affect your behaviors. And your behaviors are what's going to define your quality of life. So if you're thinking negative, you're going to start feeling negative, and you're going to start doing negative things. And the end result, you're probably not going to be happy with what you get from negative thoughts, right? My sister always used to say, when you put negative energy and thoughts out there, that's what you're going to get back. Thoughts have energy. They are energy. What you put out into the universe is what's going to come back to you. So if your thoughts are focused and they're just mired in negativity, try to change that. Like really think about what you spend most of your time thinking about during the day. Try to think of the positives. Think about what you want in life, not what you don't want. Okay? I'm gonna put a link to a couple of, there's a Joe Dispenza. He is, I think he's a neuroscientist, but he does a lot of messaging on thoughts, like how we think and how that your thoughts will basically determine your personal reality and how you can go about changing that. So I'll put a link to a talk, a speech that he gives. It's a conference. That's really interesting. It's a little bit scientific, but you might have to listen to it in chunks, and you might have to listen to it and re-listen to it. But I think it is fabulous. And there's a book that I read years ago, which I'm starting to read again. It's called TNT, The Power Within. And it also talks about your thoughts and how important it is when it comes to determining your destiny even. So I'll put those links in at the bottom. Okay? So thoughts are super important, and you need to get control of your thoughts if you want to improve the overall quality of your life going forward. Point number 2, or principle number 2, change and control your words. What are you saying about yourself? Are you down on yourself all the time? Or are you building yourself up with positivity? I'm going back to the Bible again, because the Bible is full of wisdom. And there's a lot of sayings that are coming out now, like you see a lot of quotes and that on social media, memes. And, you know, a lot of the stuff that's out there now, it's sounding as if it's just coming to the surface, but these things are in the Bible. The Bible's been around for like how many hundreds of years, right? It's been in print for 400 years, but the content, the parts of it have been around for a lot longer than that. So the Bible has a lot of wisdom to it. What does the Bible say about words? Proverbs 18:21 says, "Life and death are in the power of the tongue." Your words have a lot of power. The Bible actually tells us to choose life. Your words have a lot of power, just like your thoughts. If you're saying negative things about yourself, when you think about it, your words are your mouth, right? They're in your mouth. They're coming from your mouth. So when you keep speaking all of this negativity, where do you think that's going? You're ingesting all that stuff. This negativity is like in you. Stop speaking ill of yourself. And another thing, stop allowing other people to speak ill of you. Nowadays, there's a tendency to, people will say things and they'll say it in jest, and they'll insult you, and they'll say things that are unkind, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm just joking." You don't accept that. Just say to yourself, "I don't receive it. I do not accept this." And just kind of, poo-poo it away. You don't have to say it out loud because people might think you're crazy, but just say to yourself, "You know what? I don't accept that." Don't allow people to curse your life. And don't allow people to predict a negative future for you. Okay, you take control of that. All right, principle number 3. Practice gratitude. Things are not always perfect. We're gonna have trials, we're gonna have challenges in life. That's just how life is. But when you wake up in the morning, find something to be thankful for. Be thankful for waking up, for having life, for being able to walk, for being able to eat, for being able to speak. These are things that we do every day, but we take it for granted, right? Even if everything else in your life is not going well, be thankful for the things that are going well in your life and the things that you do have. And when you start in the morning by saying, things that you're happy about or things that you're thankful for, it actually changes you. It changes your neurochemistry. Like I find that on days where I might wake up and I'm not feeling so hot and you might feel a little down, the minute you start expressing gratitude, you actually start to feel a change. You actually start to feel lighter. And when you start your day off like this, it can change the course of your day, can change the course of your interactions with people and how your day goes. Okay, so start maybe with like 5 things in the morning, every morning. Just wake up and find 5 things that you're thankful for and see how your day goes. Next, we have practice forgiveness. When people hurt you, The last thing you want to do is forgive them. But guess what? Forgiveness is not about, it's not about that other person. Forgiveness is about you. Because when you're walking around with all that anger and resentment and that need for vindication, you want to get revenge, you know who that's hurting? It's hurting you. I heard this really interesting definition of unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is like drinking a bottle of poison and waiting for the other person to die. Because when you are harboring all of this resentment and anger and bitterness and this need for revenge against the person that hurt you, you're really only hurting yourself. Like you're harboring all the stress and your body, like your neurochemistry, again, it just starts to go all over the place. It doesn't work well. You're putting your body under undue stress. And we all know what stress does to the body, right? So as hard as it may be, it's difficult. And I can honestly say that it's difficult. But think about it as doing something for yourself. When you release it, again, my faith really helps because I know that like God says in the Bible that He will be your vindicator. So I know that if I just release it, it's not excusing the other person for what they did. It's just giving up that need for revenge and wanting to hurt them back. And I've seen in my life that when you do that and you just give it up to God, in my case, I just gave it up to God, and I've seen God works in mysterious ways. I have seen God work in, He's done some things that I could never, ever effect. I'm not gloating, but I'm just saying that when I released it to God, I released that anger and that bitterness. When I released that, I felt lighter, and it releases you. It gives you the opportunity to go on with what you're doing, with what your goals are in life, with what your purpose is in life. Because it's hard to pursue your purpose. It's hard to be productive at anything else when you're walking around feeling so angry all the time and focused on what that other person is doing. And most of the times, that person who's hurt you, they're out there living their life, having a great old time, right? So try to learn how to practice forgiveness. Principle number 6, take accountability for the hurt that you've caused others. Yeah, I know. That's as hard as forgiveness. But, it doesn't make sense walking around all puffed up with pride and we know when we've hurt somebody else, we know. And if somebody tells you you've hurt them, it doesn't matter whether we agree or not. If somebody, especially if it's somebody that you're close to, if they tell you that you hurt them, take accountability. It's their perception of what happened. And I know that's difficult, especially nowadays, because there's so much arrogance in the world. People are so arrogant nowadays. They're unkind, and it's like they just want to brush it off. But it will do you good too when you are able to get out of that denial and take accountability for your actions. The other principle that I learned was to seek more wisdom. We have a lot of knowledge in this day and age. There's a lot of actually it's information overload. We can just, hit a button on the computer or check our phones and we have facts. We have a lot of facts. We have a lot of knowledge, but we have no idea how to use that knowledge. That's wisdom. How do you get wisdom? Talk to some of the elders and some of the older people around you, people who are experienced in life, people who have done life. Mind you, not everybody who's older has wisdom. So be discerning, right? Observe how people are living their lives and talk to them. Us, the older generation, we want to share. We want to talk to you guys. We want to talk to the younger people. We have lots to share. We've made lots of mistakes, and we want to share that information with you so you don't make the same mistakes. So do what you can to get wisdom. Finally, I would say probably I didn't have this problem when I was growing up, but I see the issues that are arising nowadays. Spend less time on social media. And the time that you do spend, look for things that are positive, that are going to edify you, that are going to build you up. That after you watch it, here's a good check, here's a good sign, or a good thing to remember. If you watch something on social media and when you're finished you feel icky or you don't feel good, then that's a sign that that's not something that you should be engaging in. Okay? Watch things or look for things that are going to build you up, that are going to help you to develop personally, that are going to strengthen you spiritually, or, even things with science related. Increase your knowledge in that sense, but, just things that will help you that will build you as a person. That'll make you better. And actually, on my next chat session, I'm going to talk about social media. Having said all that, like I said, the whole intent of Coffee and Chat is to share, is to, give some guidance from some of the things that I've learned in life. And that's my take on resolutions and just learning how to think about life, like thinking about life differently, thinking about the big principles that will take you not for just this year, but into your future years. And I just thought I wanted to share that with you today. So my question to you is, what are you going to do differently this year? What are you going to do to help yourself grow? I'd like to actually hear about it. If you'd like, you can put some of your ideas in the comments below. But I hope that you will take some of the things that I said today and start applying it to your life. Start applying some of the principles. And if they're working, I'd love to hear about it. Okay then, thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you next time. Are you gonna come and take it? Are you taping me?
Yes, I am.
Stop it.
Just munching. Look at her. You don't have to see her. You can just hear her chewing.
Release, and for you to, I have no clue what I'm saying about this. I'm gonna have to come back to this, or we might just have to delete it. Hi everyone, welcome.
Okay, stop. Okay, again.
Rewind. Okay, where's the camera?